All right, all right, all right. Shake your shake. Yeah, and that's my bill. Yeah, I'm here again. Um, I did a video. I did a video about 2 weeks ago. I did a video about 2 weeks ago, and this was the title. Yeah, this video. Islamic scholar.
All right.
Islamic scholar lying to gullible Westerners, part 1. So I wanted to do the part 2, and I'm taking a certain part of the conversation that we're having. They were talking about women, and the sheikh was saying that Islam does not oppress women. So the title is Islamic scholar lying to Westerners that they don't oppress women. Alright, so let's get into the video. It was around 1:40 something.
Women in our tradition is not one that I'll use that.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the one I'll focus on just for a moment. And I think it plays into a larger narrative that Islam is a cause of destruction and regression. And I'd like people to just take a moment.
Okay. So let me play.
Sharia law. We don't want to kill everybody. We're just as curious as to where ISIS came from as everybody else is. We don't oppress women in our tradition. Our tradition is not one that I'll use that.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the one I'll focus on just for a moment.
Yeah. So he says that we don't oppress women because people have a thinking that Islam oppresses women. Lying to them that Islam does not oppress women.
And I think it plays into a larger narrative that Islam is a cause of destruction and regression.
Yeah, that is a narrative that Islam is a cause of destruction and regression. Like Islam takes every society backwards. Now look, we're in this world where women have had rights for what? Centuries in many places. It's just been like a decade or so or less where Islamic countries allow women to drive by themselves. In Islamic countries, a woman cannot even be on the street by herself without accompaniment by a male guardian. Is this not regression? Is this not backwardness? That a woman of age cannot be on the street by herself. So, if a woman cannot be on the street by herself, cannot be around by herself, how does a woman go to school? How does the woman go to work? How can the woman perform duties in society as a valuable member of the society?
And I'd like people to just take a moment to consider that we are a 1400-year-old religion, and that within Islam you had the birth of hospitals and medicine. The first university.
Look, within Islam you have hospitals. Look, how you have hospitals, and your prophet said that water cannot be impure. How you believe in health when your prophet said that when a fly falls into your food, one you don't take it out. So, are you following your prophet or you are following yourself?
University in the world was founded by a Muslim woman.
The university in the world founded by a Muslim woman. Now, look, your prophet said that. Look, let's read this hadith. A Muslim woman founded anything, did anything, it was as a result of Western influence. It is not because of Islam. You see, look, like in my country, Muslims are going to school right now because it is the law. It is the influence of Christians. But traditionally, even in there, they don't allow the Muslim girls to go to school. So if today you see a Muslim woman, a girl, doing great, it is as a result of Christian influence. It has nothing to do with Islam. Now, read this hadith. A Muslim woman did what? You see this hadith? Sahih al-Bukhari 7099, book 92, hadith number 50. We'll come back to it. Let's continue to listen to the man.
Our country here in the United States has yet to elect a woman president, the largest Muslim country in the world. Does anyone know which largest Muslim country in the world is?
Yeah, so our country is yet to get a woman president, but the largest Islamic country in the world has a woman president. Oh, but that's not about Islam. That's not about Islam. That is, they are copying Western culture. There's no country that follows Islam that is viable. Even today, even Saudi Arabia want to do away with the hadith. Now,
Indonesia has already had 2 female prime ministers.
Okay, so Indonesia has had 2 female prime ministers. What has that got to do with Islam? Because in Islam, a woman should not become a prime minister. A woman should not become a leader. So the biggest Islamic country having a woman as prime minister has nothing to do with Islam. It tells you that the Islamic countries are realizing that following Islam fully, it cannot solve their problems. So they have to add Western culture, Western principles, policies, and values to run their countries. Otherwise, their countries will become nothing. Now, let's read a hadith that I was talking about. Narrated Abu Bakr. During the battle of Al-Jamal, Allah benefited me with a word I heard from the Prophet. When the Prophet heard the news that the people of the Persia had made the daughter of Khosrow their queen, he said, look, you are saying that the greatest country in the world has a woman president, but your prophet, this is what your prophet believes. When your prophet heard that the Persians Iran, you see Iran? This was before the Muslims invaded Iran and turned it into that mess we have right now. The people of Persia made the daughter of Khosrow their queen. They made the woman their leader. And Muhammad said, never will succeed such a nation as makes a woman their ruler. So your prophet said that there is no country that will succeed that makes a woman their leader. So Indonesia having a woman president goes against Islam. So it is not something for Islam that you come to lie like, oh, it's Islam, because Islam It's not regressive. It's not oppressive to women. That's why we in an Islamic country they have a woman president. No, it means that the Islamic countries have seen that Islam cannot solve their problems, and they are throwing away the life of the Prophet and the Quran. Let's continue.
Associating Islam with regression, particularly the oppression of women and holding women back, where some of the greatest female scholarship has been produced from the Muslim world over the last 1400 years.
You see that? The women, see, like, go to every society where we have Muslims, whether in majority or in minority. Where I come from, where they're in the minority, but they wouldn't want to go to school. It takes government what? Policies, laws, and influence by Christians to get the Muslim woman to go to school. Where from all those women's scholarship? Many of these Islamic scholars, women, they're from the West, influenced by Western culture. And many of the countries that allow women to go to school have been influenced by the West. By Islam itself, the woman does not get education. And you were talking about Islam is not oppressive. Islam is not oppressive. Wife beating. Let me get on to what do you call it? Him. Let him finish, and I'm gonna deal with this in totality.
And disingenuous. So I think Islam being associated with regression, and particularly within that regression, the oppression of women. We'll talk about the other stuff later.
Sure, that's great. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd probably say one of the common misconceptions.
Okay. So that's it. The regression of women. Now, I listened through to the end, and he was talking about how wife beating and all those things, like, is nowhere in Islam. Like, is nowhere in Islam. I don't remember exactly where it is actually on the video, but I'm gonna deal with it. Whenever you get time, go and listen to all the submission he made himself. Look, if you listen to him without knowing the Quran and the Hadith, you'll be like, oh, this is fantastic submission. This is intelligent submission. Oh, wow, Islam is great. Oh, wow, then let me convert to Islam. Full of lies. If you don't know, they just lie to you with nice, sweet talk words. Sugar-coated words. And those things they say have no place in their religion. Now, is it progressive? Is it not regressive enough? Now, look. Listen. Wife beaten. And then he was talking somewhere in the video that Islam does not condone what? Wife beating. And people say that Islam, they beat the woman and the Prophet didn't do anything. Look here. Look here. Look at what the Prophet said. Sunan Ibn Majah, 1986, Book 9, Hadith number 142. Narrated that Ashad bin Qais said, I was a guest of Umar one night, and in the middle of the night he went and hit his wife. Umar went to hit his wife. Umar went to hit his wife. And I separated them. So, look, Islam does not condone oppression of women. Islam does not condone regression against women. Umar, the Caliph Umar, got up in the night to go and beat his wife for no reason. And look, Asha bin Qais said, I went to separate them. Then he went to bed. He said to me, when he went to bed, he said to me, oh Asha, learn from me something that I heard from the messenger of Allah. He said, hey Asha, I went to beat my wife. Why is that your problem? If I beat my wife, that is not supposed to be your problem. Why? The messenger of Allah said, a man should not be asked why he beat his wife. A man should not be asked why he beat his wife. This is the teaching of your prophet in Islam. That you can beat your wife. You can get up in the night and just go and beat your wife for no reason. And nobody should be able to ask you a question why you beat your wife. Now, look. Quran chapter 4 verse 34. Read. Men are the protectors and the maintainers of women because Allah has made one of them to excel the other and because they spend from their means. Therefore, the righteous women are devoutly obedient and guard in the husband's absence what Allah ordered them to guard. Okay, listen. As to those women on whose part you see ill conduct, the women, this is the Quran. This is, if you're saying that the Quran does not teach oppression against women, if this is not oppression, then what is oppression? If this is not oppression against women, then what is oppression? The Quran says that as to those women, your wives, that you see ill conduct. In fact, in other translation, it says, if you fear stubbornness from your wife. So not that even your wife has done anything wrong, you suspect that your wife is doing wrong. First, admonish them, and then you refuse to share beds with them. Don't sleep with them. Now, it's not like in the Western culture where one man, one wife. So if the man is not sleeping with a wife, the man also has no place to enjoy himself. In Islam, the man is marrying up to 4 women. So he dumps this wife and not sleep with this wife, and the man has what? 3 other women and uncountable slaves, girls, to go and what? Have sexual enjoyment with. And is this not oppression against women? Is this not regression? They only come to lie to Westerners, painting a beautiful, nice picture of Islam. But in reality, Islam is gloomy, darkness, full of evil. Huh? Now look. Marrying 4 wives, is that already oppression against the women? If you can marry 4, why is the woman also not allowed to marry 4? And they forced the women to wear hijab. Hijab was a sign to show that you are either a slave woman or you are a married free woman, and they make it like, oh, hijab, hijab, hijab. I mean, look. Look at this hadith. They say the Prophet does not beat anyone. Look at this hadith. Sahih Muslim, book 11, hadith number 132. Look, he said, was in the darkness that I saw in front of me, the Prophet talking to Aisha. I said yes. He gave me a nudge on the chest, which I felt. Your Prophet, you say your Prophet does not beat, and your Prophet was what? Hitting the wife. But in the hadith, Aisha also says that the Prophet never hit any of his wives. But it says in the hadith that your Prophet hit Aisha. So they lie to you about the Prophet. They lie to you about Islam and how beautiful Islam is. And none of those things is there. Your Prophet beat his wife, hit his wife, and she felt it in the chest. And the caliphs were beating their wives because your Prophet said that nobody should be asked the question if they beat their wives. And let me ask you, why is it that Islam allows you to marry children? Is it not oppressive enough that you marry kids? Is it not oppressive enough that you marry 2, 3, 4 wives? Is it not oppressive enough? Let me look at this Quran verse. Quran 65 verse 4. And those of you women as have passed the age of manly course, that's the menstruation. The Quran is talking about how to what? Divorcing your what? Your wives. And see, for them it's 3 months. Though for those who have no causes, the Quran isn't not regressive and oppressive against women. The Quran prescribes that you can marry children who have not menstruated. And because of this, your Prophet married a 6-year-old girl and had sex with a 9-year-old girl. Is it not oppressive against young girls? Is Islam not regressive? Is it not regressive? That you, excuse me to say, you have sexual relations with children. A religion that allows you to have sexual relations with children. And the prophet of that religion was having sex with a 9-year-old girl. Is it not oppressive against young children? And you're saying that people believe that Islam is oppressive against women and is not. Come on. You divorce kids, so you marry kids. How you marry kids and then is not repressive and is not regressive? You can marry up to 4 if you can. Meanwhile, there, look, Quran 129. It tells you that you will never be able to do perfect justice between wives, even if you are ardent, if that's your ardent desire. So do not incline too much to one of them. It doesn't even make sense. God saying this, because you cannot be just, do not incline to one of them. Like, what kind of logic is this? You will not be perfect between your wives. Now, if this God, if this religion knows that you will not be perfect between your wives, why does it tell you that then go and marry what? How many of them? Go and marry. Let me go to verse. What do you call it? Yeah, verse 1. Verse 3. Look. If you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphan girls, look at this, chasing off orphan girls, a religion, encouraging the men to what? Take the orphan girls. I mean, come on. Is it not repressive, oppressive, regressive to women? Okay, then marry women of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly, then only one. Already, you have said that you will not be able to what? Deal justly. So, you look, 4:1-29 says, you will not be perfect justice. You will not be able to do a perfect justice between you or your wife. So if you already know that you cannot do it, why are you telling them to go and take what? 2, 3, or 4? But if they cannot do it, they take one. It means you know they can do it. So why give it to them? You see? Does it make sense? The Quran allows you to what? Rape captives. Rape the women. Look, rape them. Just rape them. Allows you to rape them. Look. And Safia Huye. Look. Look at this. (23) Look. See. The prophet stayed for 3 days. Look, they went on war and they went to take Safia bin Huyay. And your prophet raped her. Huh? And the people were asking, the Muslims wondered, is she considered as his wife or his slave girl? So the prophet made it such that he can go and what? Rape women, take women, and even the Muslims are not sure whether the woman that your prophet has is a wife or is a slave girl. Your prophet was raping the slave girls. Look, there was a hadith. I'm gonna search for this hadith. Look, let me search for this hadith. And then, that's the last hadith I want to give. I want to give that hadith. Finally, that's it. Look, let me search for this. Let me search for this here. Your prophet said that, I'm gonna search for this. Because his war men went and got some slave women, and the prophet said it doesn't matter. You can go ahead and have sex with them, and then after you sell them. Okay. I can find it. I'll put it in the description box later when I get it. So see, the whole thing about Islam is oppression against women. Everything is oppression against women. But they come out and tell you that, oh, Islam is not about oppressing of women. Islam is not about oppressing of women. Because they know, Westerners don't know about their religion. Look, I'll look into the video. Anything I have to deal with, I'll come and deal with it. Shake your shake. Share this video. Let your friends also know the truth. Alright? Shake your shake. Alright, alright, alright.